Okay, so today's agenda. So before we jump into uh, directly to AWS networking class, it will be little difficult. So for that one, what we will do first, we will try to understand what is actual AWS data centers, how the data centers will be. Okay, come on, data center. And what is virtualization? What is the availability zones? Availability zones. And yeah, if time permits, we will discuss about networking also, right? Like starting class, right? So we will discuss about these details first, and then we will go and we'll see. So how many of you guys visited data center? Did you know like how the data center will looks like? Sai Sunil, did you visited data center? AWS data center. North Virginia. Okay, go to images. Yeah, you can take any of this one. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, Vijay. No, who is this? Asking Sasid, right? Okay. Yeah, మీరేనా? Okay. సాయి నా ఫ్రెండ్ లేండి. Okay. ఓకే. ఇక్కడ చూసారంటే మీరు, సో ఈ ఫస్ట్ ఉన్నారు కదా, ఈ ఫస్ట్ బ్లాక్, సెకండ్ బ్లాక్, ఈ త్రీ బిల్డింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా. త్రీ బిల్డింగ్స్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ డేటా సెంటర్స్. Data centers having multiple buildings. Why we have multiple buildings means, let us assume, Sri Lanka is there. It is a very small country. They have built some little data center at the starting stage, because they don't want to invest all the money at the data centers. Okay, so data center is simply, it won't look like this. Okay, it is having backend. There are a lot of things we need to do. Okay, so as per the demand, customers improvement, customers there, if the customer number of customers are increasing to this cloud or any other team, they will increase their data centers. So first they constructed is like this. They are occupying the space, and they are constructing as per the demand. Okay, this is how overall it will looks like. But if you go inside of the data center, so no one will have access to AWS data centers. So in Hyderabad, there Amazon is constructing a new data center. Already it is constructed in Mumbai. Okay, so each and every company is having their own data centers, but to build the data centers, it is not that much easy. That is the reason nowadays cloud is popular. Okay, so if you want to visit the cloud, then you need to give the so many approvals, and you need to get the approvals, and you need to give the permission, this and all you need to get. So okay, fine, this is how the data center will looks like. So what is there inside of the data center? Anyone can have any idea? సో క్లౌడ్ అంటే ఏం లేదండి. మనం ఎక్కడైనా మనం జస్ట్ వీఆర్ ఇన్స్టాలింగ్ వన్ EC2 ఇన్స్టెన్స్, రైట్? This is not installing on any fly on the cloud. It is also installing in one of the data center which is owned by the cloud service provider. Okay, so instead of managing all the companies, they are providing service, they are managing. That's it. Data center inside view. Okay, there are multiple images also is there. videos is there, you can see that. Okay, this is how it will looks like data center. Yeah, this is the racks. If you see, these are the multiple racks. This is how the racks will be there. Inside there is racks, there will be disks will be there. That is HP provided some disks is there. And if you see here, this is the back side. The cabling and network and the switches, everything will be there in that one. Okay, and you can see also switches also, switches inside data center. Okay, ఇక్కడ చూసారంటే you can see clearly here how the switches will be looks like. This is only simple one. Like if you are constructing very big data center, you need a large number of switches and network, and yeah, these are the things we need to consider. Okay, so now, so you got some idea, right? Why, how it will looks like. Anyone having any doubts? Okay, I think no doubts. So what we will do now? Okay, so I have a big region. This is my data center. I can call it as data center. Data center DC. I will call it as data center. Inside a data center, I will have multiple racks. I have. Assume these are the multiple racks. Okay. Okay. These are the our actual physical servers. Okay, physical server. We can name it as physical server, right? Okay, so don't think I don't have any work. I'm drawing the drawings. So I just want to explain you before. So I will go directly and I will explain the networking concept. There I will have multiple regions and availability zones. So you can't understood. Okay, that is the reason I'm explaining this one. So this is the basic things first we need to know. That is the reason I'm explaining. So don't think so there is no work for me. So drawing the this design. Okay, so these are the physical servers which we have inside of this one. So assume you are already I have shown you I think last time. Again I'll go here, I'll log into my account first and I will see what is happening whenever you are provisioning any server. Come on. Okay, I'm going here and I'm clicking a server. I'm creating a server. What is the network here? Where is 5G? Okay, so I came here. I'm choosing Ireland region and I'm going to the instances. There is no running instances, so I'm launching my instance and I'll host. After launching the instance, I am creating my required application. Inside that I'm creating any other games I am installing. What are the things I need? I'm just installing in the EC2 server. So but we are not worrying about where is my server is created, right? If you see here, just a moment. Okay, it is launched now successfully. Okay, see, this instance is created now. You see this one, there is some configuration is there for this server. So like 1 CPU, 1 GB, 1 GB RAM, that and all it is there. So everything is fine. You are created a server now. So where it is created? So we are not worrying about that, but we need to know where we are creating this machine. So it is creating on physical server. Physical server it will create and it will allocate a partition of whichever the amount you are requesting from the AWS for your particular server. Okay, they will allocate a portion of this physical server. So how they are doing this one? You are not, you are just creating the which operating system you want here, either Linux or Windows. Amazon Linux, somewhere you can find this one. Yeah, this is Amazon 2 Linux. This is the operating system. You can see here Linux one you have chosen. So how you are not going and creating or allocating any compute power in the data center. How this is happening? This is happening via virtualization. Okay, virtualization concept they are using. With the help of that, hypervisor will be there. One hypervisor will be there. With the help of that hypervisor, they are allocating a piece of requirement, whatever the you are requesting to them. They are allocating that compute power as per your requirement, and they are provisioning a server. So there are multiple options we have. You can go and you can create alone some part of your server, or else you can go and directly take entire this mission to you only. Okay, this entire mission to you only. So that for that one you need to pay separate cost again for the AWS. Whatever the service, whatever the additional settings you are enabling, for all that one you need to pay to the AWS. Okay, with the help of virtualization they are creating a portion of a compute power as per your needs. Okay, okay, so now, and network and switches also will be there. The network layer you can see, this is the our network. Assume this is your network layer in the particular rack. Okay, network. This is a network. For each and every rack there will be routers and switches will be there. With the help of this network device, it is internally communicated. So in the data center all the racks are intercommunicated by defaultly. Assume this is my one data center. I have another data center in the Mumbai region. Okay, in Mumbai region I'm having another data center. I will give this name as DC2, DC1 I'll give. That is DC, right? This is DC1, data center 1. Okay, so same exact set of replica, whatever the um, data center inside we have, same it will be available over also. Okay, so assume this is one data center, this is one data center. Now we will consider these both data center falls under one AWS region. Assume this is how the AWS is designed. AWS is designed. You can name it as a AWS region. AWS region. Okay, this is your AWS region. So in AWS region there will be minimum 3 availability zones. Availability zone is nothing but one data center, one data center. Okay, availability zone, availability zones by defaultly intercommunicated by defaultly. Okay, just take this. Okay, internally it will be communicate with the help of the routings. By defaultly it will be communicated between the two data centers. You don't want to establish any communication between the two data centers. By defaultly it will be enabled within the region. Within the region we are discussing, assume any one region. Assume you can take any one region. I have chosen Ireland, right? In the same way, if you go here, I'll go to the EC2 dashboard. Okay, if you come down here, you can see here service health is operating normally across 3 availability zones. This is for each and every availability zone there will be one unique code will be there. Europe West 1A, Europe West 1B, Europe West 1C. Like that the codes will be there. 1A is nothing but 1A, one availability zone, that is one data center. 1B, that is second data center. Like that minimum 3 will be there. Earlier Mumbai also having only 2, now it is having only 3, minimum 3 availability zones. Okay, so why we need to use 3 availability zones now? So what we will do now, we will go to one data center, I mean one region. We will assume we have, okay, now assume this one is, come on, okay, now this is my region. Assume this is my region. Now region, this is aged 1, availability zone 1. This is aged 2. Now this one is my aged 3. Okay. So aged 1 is nothing but it is completely completely isolated from the another data center. Aged 1 is nothing but one data center. This data center also is completely separated, but one availability zone, another availability zone must be reside in 100 kilometers, within 100 kilometers. Within 100 kilometers only we need to, not we, like AWS is designed such a way it will be fallen in the 100 kilometers distance, not radius. Okay, so why they have designed such a way means, so assume in Hyderabad, assume you can take Hyderabad. So they have constructed one availability zone in Hyderabad, Kukatpalli, and another one is they have constructed in somewhere else in Shamshabad. Okay, so both the areas won't be collapsed. I mean, if earthquake or like floods comes, right, both the areas won't be affected for the floods. That is the reason they will construct such a way that they will calculate and they will acquire everything. They will go and they will fetch the details on the local teams, and then they will construct these data centers. Why? Because if one data center will goes down, remaining data center will be up and running such a way that they will design our their data centers, and we need to use for our applications. Okay, assume now I have hosted one EC2 server here. I am going to host another EC2 server, that is my application. I am going and deploying my application here the same way I am keeping here. Okay, in 3 availability zones I kept my application server. My application is running. If you are not keeping in three availability zones, you are keeping in one availability zone, and the entire availability zone is affected with any flood or any other earthquake, you can't go and claim my application is down, can you give me backup? For that reason only they are giving high availability. High HA means high availability between the availability zones. You need to host your application in the two availability zones, then only you need to bring back whenever one availability zone goes down, second from the second availability zone you will bring back your application. That is the reason, main advantage of availability zones here. We need to design our application also in a way our application won't affect if one availability zone goes down. Okay, so region is nothing but it is a not a country or a particular one data center. It is within the country. Within the country they are creating multiple availability zones. Multiple availability zones. If you see here, if you go to the US, in if you see here, there are a lot of is there lot of regions is there. Okay, yes. Now, yeah, this is the availability zone, how these availability zones will work and regions will work. And assume this is my another region, even region also earlier we discussed, right? Within the availability zones only we have the communication. One. Okay, so this is the availability zone. Already availability zone connection is defaultly established, but you don't think so there is no connectivity established between the two regions. Okay, this is region 1. Region 1 and this is my region 2. Okay, tell me, between the regions there is a communication established or not by the AWS? Tell me guys, any idea? Any idea guys? Say yes or no, that's it. Yeah, so I'm asking, as if you see here, in region we have multiple availability zones. Availability zone is nothing but one data center. All the data center already having a internal connection with the help of AWS. Already they have communicated. I mean, there is a connection is established. So now I am asking, you know, right, what is the region? If you see here, this is one region. Ireland is one region. North Virginia is region. This is and if you see Asia Pacific, Mumbai also one region. Okay, between the regions, is it connection is established or not by AWS? Okay. What about others? Yes, guys, it is established. How it is established? Do you know how it is established? Okay. How it is established? You can see here. Uh, Undersea cables. You can see the images here. You see here, this is how it is. Cabling is done. Okay, see here, United States, and where is our country? Our country is somewhere Indian Ocean. Yeah, somewhere. Okay, so this is how internally undersea the cabling is already done. So all the regions are communicated internally, but if you want to communicate anything, you need to do communication, you need to do establish a communication. But cabling is there, but by defaultly between the regions connectivity is not established. Okay, cabling is there, but connectivity we need to make. Whenever you want to connect between the two regions, you need to make sure, then you need to configuring something. Okay, I'll give the example. You have phone number, I have phone number, so both are the phone numbers. Until you call me, then only there will be communication will happen, right? Same thing here also, you need to make a call to communicate with me. Same thing we need to configure, then only between the regions the communication will be established. Okay, I want to show you one more image. Okay, cabling inside a data center. Okay, if you see here, there is one photo is there, one guy will be crying. Okay, we shall do this. See, if you see this one, what you will understand with the cabling. So where this cable is belongs to, which cable is belongs to for where, which hard disk drive, from which physical drive. Okay, so you can believe or not, for cabling also separate companies will be there in earlier stages. Now due to the cloud, the cabling companies also slowly it is going down. Why? Because there is no, each and every company, there is no data centers, all are moving to the cloud. So who will give the cabling work to the cabling companies? So cabling companies will do the with each and every tag, from where it is coming, where it is going. See how neatly they will do this one. Okay, this is how they will do in the data centers. Okay, yeah, any doubts till now? What is availability zone, what is region, what is data center? Any doubts till now? So I heard some little voice. What is that? Who is that? I didn't get what you guys are telling. So no doubts, right? Guys, please say yes or no. Okay. ఏమవుతుందండి ఎస్ ఆర్ నో చెప్పడం, అంతే కదా, మీ సొమ్ము ఏమవుతుంది? Okay, good. Okay, so okay, virtualization, we will discuss about little bit more about virtualization, then we will jump into our actual networking concept. Okay, okay, okay. So anyone aware of what is virtualization? So what is virtualization, Krishna? Okay, and okay, Sandeep, any idea? Okay, okay. Virtualization, actually, assume now your laptop is there. So on that, on your laptop, how many again virtual laptops we can create? If you are having, if you are having hypervisor, then you can create. And if you have sufficient compute capacity, then only you will create additional virtual laptops on your physical laptop. Okay, that is your physical laptop, right? Assume this is my physical server. Assume my, this is my physical server. Okay, this is my hypervisor. hypervisor. Okay, hypervisor is there. Citrix Zen AWS is using Citrix Zen hypervisor is there. VMware is there. Hyper-V also is there. vSphere. These are the hypervisors. With the help of that, even in your laptop also, if you install hypervisor, with the help of your compute power, again you can distribute your virtual compute capacities. Okay, you can again create multiple servers with the help of your hypervisors. Okay, okay, ikkada. So I'll take one example. Family, I will take a example. Okay, so physical server is our, assume our family only will take. So physical server is our dad. We will take our dad, and hypervisor is our mother, and these servers are our like our family members. That is, this is this guy is studying. Assume this guy is studying BTech. This guy is studying some plus 2. Okay, intermediate. Inter. This guy is studying some 5th class. Okay, 5th class. So assume, so each and every guy does not have same requirements, right? So 5th class పిల్లోడికి different requirements. Intermediate guy is having different requirement. BTech guy is having different requirements. Okay, so whatever you are having the requirement, you will go and tell to your mother, and your mother will discuss with your father, and she will arrange the whatever the requirements. Okay, assume your dad is getting money for your to run your family, and he is giving the money to your mother, and your mother is allocating that money into the as per your requirement of your the mother the family members. That is 50 class kid. So what he needs chocolates and other things. And coming to the btech guy, he don't want to chocolates. He need to give chocolates to some other one, like they won't agree. Okay na? That is the reason. So each and every guy is having its own requirements. With the help of mother, here we are allocating the actual resources. The same way, in this terminology also, hypervisor will allocate these resources to our requirement. Now what I have done, I just navigated to my EC2 console, and I requested one server to AWS verified with the help of that hypervisor, and it is gave to me as a server. The same way this virtualization will work. Okay, there are multiple virtualization providers is there, multiple hypervisors is there. That is visa, that is vmware, and citrix, zen, vcenter, hyper-v. Okay, these are the multiple these are the multiple hyper-v's is there. Multiple hypervisors. With the help of that hypervisors, we are partitioning our physical server into virtual machine. So now we have created one server. This is created on any one of the AWS cloud. This is we are created and accessed with the virtual. Okay, if you want to create multiple servers, yes, we can do that. If you want to specially dedicated, assume I don't want to see, this is my company Infosys. Assume this is Infosys application, and this is TCS application. Okay, just a moment. Yeah, if you see here, I have Infosys and TCS here, both the applications running on only one physical server. Okay, so if you have any issues with that, so I so both are the top leading software service based clients, service based companies in the India. So they don't want to compromise, and they don't want to share their application with their competitor. Though what they will do, they don't want to give this entire physical server to this TCS guy. Then what they will do, they will purchase entire physical server, and they will pay for the full physical server, and they will host for the dedicatedly for their own applications, right? That is how that will help. Yeah, guys, so any doubts? Okay, so now, okay, so Krishna, so first we, if you want to learn AWS, um AWS, or if you want to establish any company, what we are doing, right? Any, like, if even they are constructing an on-premise one, right? The first they will do the construction, and after that they will go with the networking. So networking is the main important factor. So network first we need to understand. So do you know IP address, Krishna? What is IP address, and how many different types of IP address are there? Anyone? Both of you? IP address classes. So each and every host, I mean computer or mobile, is having its own IP address. My IP, I can go and I can fetch with my IP. So my IP is 10.06.200.254.13. Like that, each and every machine is having its own public IP. So to get the IPs, companies, what they will do, first they will discuss internally, and they will go and they will confirm what is the public IP they want to use. Okay, that are the classifications is there. With the help of that, the companies will design which IP address they need to use. Okay, the same way in AWS also, what we will do, first we will establish the networking concept. Networking, so VPC is virtual private cloud. With the help of VPC, we will create a virtual private cloud which is logically isolated from the other parties, other companies, so they can't come and they can't host their application in our cloud. So we are creating our cloud again virtually in AWS. Okay, virtual private cloud. So to create this virtual private cloud, what are the prerequisite we need to have? So we need to have one AWS account that already we have, and we need to understand what is the IP address range I need to take it. Okay, so if you choose this IP address 10.0.0.0/16, okay, /16, why we are taking, and what is this 16 is all about? This is a subnet mask. This is subnet. What is the subnet mask? So under VPC, again we need to go and discuss with the multiple components is there under virtual private cloud, that we will discuss. Okay, before that we need to understand what is this IP, how many IPs I will get. So I am giving this IP range, I am giving this IP range to my VPC. Now I gave this IP range to my VPC. So this is my virtual private cloud. Under this only, under this again I have multiple layers, like public zone is there. Come on. Okay. Again I have public one. Okay. And private one. I have private one, and I have secured one I need to have here, private, and another one is also private backend we can consider. Okay, so why we are calling this is a public? Some applications we have, publicly accessible applications that we will host here. Okay, assume this is the my EC2 machine. So I am creating multiple EC2 machines. I need to get this IP address, right? This IP address needs to be allocated, and this needs to be fall under my specified IP range only. It should not go outside. That is the reason first we are creating this range. Okay, we need to specify this range. This will comes under architecture design. Okay, whenever our company or organization is designing at first stage architecture and networking, they will first design what is the subnet range we need to choose for my production, my non-production, my technology, my DevOps cloud. Okay, DevOps account, DevOps VPC. Okay, that is how they will first design, and they will create multiple subnets under this one. Okay, this is public one and private one, backend private. Okay, we will see while discussing about deep concepts about VPC, public and private, and deep private one. We will see what is the different concepts present in AWS VPC and its subcomponents, and we will see that areas. But yeah, and one more thing, this our VPC is the right virtual private cloud. This virtual private cloud is specific to our particular only one region. It is a region specific, specific region specific. You can't create VPC for availability zone or across the regions. It is only specific to a particular region. Region, that is either North Virginia or Ireland or Pacific Mumbai. So assume you have created your VPC here, okay, in North Virginia. You are trying to launch your EC2 instance in Ireland. So you can launch if you have any other VPC. Without VPC, you can't launch it. Either it might be default VPC or you customize VPC. Then only you will able to launch this EC2 instance in the specified VPC. You are created in one zone and you are going to create in EC2 in another zone. It is not possible. Okay, if you have another VPC over there, then it is possible. And if you want to establish the communication between the two VPCs, there is a concept called VPC peering that we will discuss after we complete first phase of VPC, right? Okay, now I have one question here. See, so 10.0.0.0/16 I have taken. So I am creating multiple servers. So what is the my server IP address needs to be fall. So if you see here, 16 is nothing but, I will tell you here, the first digit is the right 10. This 10. This 10 is 8 bit. Now another 0 is 8 bit. Another 0 is 8. Another 8 is another 8 bits. So like that. If I kept 16, then what will happen? My next IP address will be 10.0.1.0 or 0.1, 0.1, like that it will come. In the same way my next IP address will be 10.0.0.2. like this it will go up to 256 IP addresses. It will go, okay, 256. Why I am telling 256? Why I am telling 256? That is because I'll tell you why I am telling 256 IP addresses, and I am telling these two are fixed. Okay, fixed. Why? Because 16 I have chosen. This 8 bit and this 8 bit is fixed. Remaining only 2 bits will be vary, and whenever you are getting any server, this will falls under that specific IP range. Okay, so for each and every bit you need to calculate like this: 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, like that you need to calculate for 2 to the power of 7. Okay, at the final letter will be 256. So in each and every bit you will get 256 IP addresses. In the same way you will get combination. So if you go here, there is a subnet calculator also is there. You can fetch the details from that. Okay, IP subnet calculator. Okay, you can see here. So my IP address range is subnet bits 6 bits, mask 24, maximum subnet, host per subnet. Okay, I'm giving my IP now 10.0.0.0. Okay, subnet mask will be 255 dot A class, B class, C class. Okay, I need to consider class A. Okay, if you see here, that's what I said. There will be different classes will be there. A class, B class, C class, D class. So we need to use A and C class will be used at commercial. That means our homes and any other hotels and all, they will use C type address. Okay. If I go to my IP, what is my IP here? My IP address. See, 106.200.254 it is coming, but it is not starting with the 10. So I need to choose 10 address. Okay, subnet mask will be 255 0.0. Subnet bits 8. See, if you see here, my subnet is /16. Each and every this one is 8 bits. Maximum subnet I am getting 256 per bit. In the same way, I will get maximum IPs will be for this one 65534. Okay, 65,534 IP addresses I will get. In that one, 5 address will be reserved by AWS for their some broadcasting and all they will give. For that one they will reserve 5 IP address. Remaining all they will allocate to you. By that only you will create your EC2 instances and elastic IPs or subnets. This and all you can create with the help of your subnet mask. So that is the reason we need to choose maximum subnet range whenever we are creating VPC. Assume you created your VPC with a subnet mask of 24. Okay, you created 24. Then what will happen? What will happen? Your 24 I'll give here. Is it? Assume 24. 24 means again these three digits are fixed. 8 3s are 24. 8 24 bits is fixed. Remaining 0 will be there. That is only vary. 0 to 256 it will go. Same thing you can see here. 255.0. If you give 255.0, 16 bits are completely occupied and subnet mask is 250 and 254 is your available IP addresses. 0 to 255. 0 to 255 you need to consider always. That means 256 is not there. So you need to consider from 0, right? That is the reason 255 is the maximum. Okay. So if you are giving less means if you are giving less means number of IPs will be high. Subnet mask is less means your IPs will be high. For going maximum, I mean high, for giving a high number that is 24, 25, 26, 27, your IP address will be reduced. Maximum allowable IP address range is slash subnet mask is 28 only in AWS. Why? Because we will see tomorrow class why this is only restricted to 28. Why can't we go with 29 or 30 31? Okay, any doubts guys? What is please? Yeah, you can ask now. I think we have completed today. Okay, tomorrow onward we will start directly what is the actual VPC. This is only basics you need to understand, so I am telling. Correct. Correct. Actually, to identify which system is belongs to whom. Okay, so we will have a particular IP address. We will have host names also. Host names we need to give, but whenever you are creating any machine, by defaultly it will come with a IP address. So if you see my console, I have created my EC2 instance, right? I think this IP address, yeah, if you see here, this public IP address, it is allocated. Okay, private IP address was also there, but it is terminated. That is the reason it is not showing. Each and every mission, even your mission, your mobile, everything, every server, every device is having its own IP address for identification purpose. Yeah. So that IP is, we need to segregate which IP I need to use. Then only this mission will fall under your specified range. Okay. I didn't specify anything. That is the reason that is AWS pool will be there. In that pool it is created. Yeah. Yeah, Krishna. Any other doubt? VPC definition.